warm welcome to you all. Thank you very much to all our new subscribers. We very much appreciate you following us. We're continuing with our films at BHG Marine, and in this episode we're going to be looking at the Jeanneau Mary Fisher 1095 Fly.
Oh yes.
And what an incredible boat this is.
Yeah, very nice indeed. So join us again. We're going to have a good old walk through all the nooks and crannies. 1095, can't wait. So the 895 Sport, which you'll remember we did and had a good old walk through the south of France, but look at what's next to it to compare it with. The difference, it looks a much bigger boat, but it's the 1095 Fly, which is also down here at BHG Marine. This one is very much available too, although if you saw our film on the 795 Sport, you'll know that that also goes very quickly, in huge demand at the moment. But looking forward to getting you into this and having a good look around this 1095 Fly. So stick with us and enjoy the walk around. And in fact, just as the comparison there, there's the twin 250s. So twin 300s to go on the 1095. But there's those fabulous twin 250s, V6s of the 895 Sport. If you haven't seen it yet, check out our channel. We were lucky enough to be down in the south of France when we did a review of the 895 Sport. Lovely boat, so enjoy that film if you've yet to see it. The swim platform and the steps to get you back up onto the swim platform, slightly different setup here. You remember that one or two of the other Jeanneaus, they obviously flip up and over here and sit down into a recess. This one, however, pulls out from the back here. This little thing just lifts up here from the back, which allows this bit here to be released, and then you can pull that out like that, and then it hinges down there. So a really nice way to get yourself back into the boat when you've been swimming in your chosen favourite part of the world. Always looks so massive when they're out in the water like this, but of course you can see that you've got your power thruster fitted at the front here, and you can see these darkened perspex type finish on this, which is a sort of like a privacy glass, but once we're into the cabin space inside, you'll see that these long windows in effect give you a fantastic view out of the main cabins, and are really lovely when you're out on the water. Has a space to relax in. Some of your outlets here, little stainless steel fittings on them, drain plugs from sinks inside, from the bathroom inside, some opening windows here of course, here and here. This will be the second cabin, which you'll see when we get into the boat. Exhaust here from the heating. This one will eventually have 300 yams, twin 300 yams on the back, yet to be fitted, but obviously you'll also see once again that this comes with the zip wakes, trim tabs. They're the 450Ss, so we've seen them as well on the 895 offshore, and we've seen them on the 795 Sport. When you see just these little slots here, this is where they deploy from, and they slide down sort of electronically as you adjust them at the helm station. Or of course you can go full automatic mode, and they then detect what the boat needs, and they adjust themselves to change the angle and pitch of the boat to try and get that optimum speed and pitch to try and get your optimum fuel consumption. So these are these huge panels which will have to take those monster 300s. You'll have seen some of the data I put on the screen there, that they're huge, heavy things. So yeah, plenty of reinforcing here at the transom to take those twin 300s. But it'll be electronic steering. So you'll see none of the steering rams and that at the back here. It'll be like the 795 Sports that we showed you from BHG Marine. with that full electric steering. Really nice option now on these boats, and this one of course is no exception. And you can see as well there's your shore power inlet, just a little quarter turn anti-clockwise, allows you to then lift that up and plug in your shore power cable. And you can see as well, which I can film while we're still down on the outside of the boat, nice chromed cleats there, and then you've got the portside fuel tank there with a little red lip around the filler cap there, to that telltale symbol that it's fuel. Portside, and then an identical one on the starboard side there. And you'll have seen from the data on the screen the tank sizes of obviously fuel, water, black water and fresh water, to just give you an indication of what this 1095 will hold. On the carrying on round the boat there, you've got that similar starboard side gate, which allows you access on and off the boat there when you're on your pontoon perhaps, and then obviously a lot of the other outlets from the sinks, washrooms, you name it, outlets from the boat here as well, and more of those lovely long windows, which from distance look a bit like just black decals, but they're actually really nice long privacy glassed windows. So once you're in the boat, obviously this gate just lifts up there from its lock position, just allows it to drop then back into the little runners there. That locks it in position, give you a bit of safety when you're out on the water. And you can see as well there that its category plate, if you can just see that there, Mary Fisher 1095 Fly, you can see that it's got a category B7, a C10 or a D11. And you'll know from some of our other films what those classifications mean, but I'll pop them up on the screen there just as a reminder, particularly of course that B7 one, to give you an idea of what that means. And what of course you've also got here, as we know from a number of the Jeanneaus that we've reviewed, that we've also got a deck shower here. On the 1095 you get a really nice setup here. It's a chromed shower head, again with a trigger here, which activates your water supply, but what you've also got here is a hot and cold adjustment on it as well. So when you finish that fabulous dip in the sea, up onto your swim platforms there, and you can even have yourself a warm rinse off before you head on inside the boat. Very nice too. So on the back of the seat here you can also see they've got these drop bolts, which we can just lift up there, and we can show you of course how that seat slides forward, and it slides forward obviously to allow this whole bench seat forward, to allow what would be your 2 300s there to just tilt forward and lift those gear legs up out of the water, particularly if you're in salt water. Obviously it stops that build up of wildlife while you're perhaps away from your boat and it's moored. So now the cockpit tables on the 1095 are very slightly different. You remember a lot of the Jeanneaus have the post hole in the bottom there that you slip your aluminium post in and then put the tabletop on top. These ones, as you can imagine, a little bit more stylish in the way that they've been finished in chrome, but you'll see there that if you grab the little black button and just pull it backwards, it allows this whole unit to lift up out of this chrome holder which holds this seat post in place. So I've just taken this one out over here to give you an idea of that. You can see there's your chrome fitting, the little black bit that allows the locking device there, and there's your there's the piece that just slots in. So they're not particularly heavy, very easy one-handed lift, got a really nice wood finish on there, and an adjustment obviously there to be able to slacken it off and then rotate the tables to rotate them around. This obviously also allows, and the reason I took that one off is because I also wanted to show you these runners here, which we talked about there, which when you're going to lift your engines up you have to pull this whole bench seat forward. So let's just give that a push and you'll see what I mean. In fact, over this side, which is your port side access to the boat, this cushion's already fitted, so I'll just lift that up and you see that just opens back there. So So you can see you've got an alternative portside access through that space there onto the boat, as well as the sort of main access over the starboard side. And once that's done, you can grab this handle and then pull the whole lot forward like that on the runners. So you can see there now, got that massive well space there to be able to get to those twin 300s, to be able to tilt them up, and the bolts there, these bolts there lock into those holes, so you can actually hold the seat in that forward position when you're perhaps away from your boat. So let's get that back in position, drop that bolt down like that. We can shut this little access door, drops down into place there, and you can see as well there you've got that storage locker there, a little bit of handy storage on the rear swim platform there. At the sides again, these lovely chromed cleats at the side here, and of course good old fishing rod holders there on the side. Okay, so I've popped both of the tables out of their supports so that we can show you some of the storage that's in the cockpit locker here. And you'll also notice that what I've also done is I've moved the Flybridge ladder here. That when you want to move it backwards, it slides up these runners here and then stows right up against the window there. It normally would sit here with this little screw tightened down to hold it in place, but obviously to lift this locker you've got to just stow the ladder back against there, and then that allows us to then get hold of the cockpit storage. So I'll lift that up for you. And really strong gas struts there. You can see here and over the other side there, those are your port and starboard fuel tanks hiding under there. And if obviously we take those inspection covers off, you'd see the plastic tanks underneath. And you'll see as well that we've got a little step down into the hold area, the cockpit locker area. So let's take you down to there. So there's that little step down in, and we're right down in, so you can see the storage goes back a little way there, and then back a little way there. But you've also got some additional bits and bobs over here which are just put up there, those two monster batteries there that help run the habitation and the engine. And then over this side here, a similar configuration there, giving you four batteries in total. These hatches here are just a quarter turn there, and what you can just see in the back there, there's your fuel pumps there, fuel filters should I say, and allows you access there to be able to check for any water ingress, and of course to do the maintenance work on them. And there we go, that little door opened up on those two catches, and you can see there that there's a fairly hefty old storage bit under the back here, where if you really wanted to you could add a bit more storage, but probably plenty in the hold itself. And there, that just pushes back up there, secured by these two little latches there. See here as well, those are your fire extinguisher points if you were unfortunate enough to have any fuel problems. Fuel tanks obviously, as I say, behind these two panels here. But you can see with me stood down in the space down here, it's quite a good sized locker. In fact, let's just grab the measure up and give you an idea of what sort of space is down in the locker here. So if we go from the back wall here, so from that back wall there to the front is 1.777 metres, and then if we just do the crossways measurement, give you an idea of that, from this side here across to the laser point there, that is just over a metre, so 1.022 metres, so a good size space there. Obviously the actual hatch itself isn't quite that wide, so let's just see what the actual opening space is. So width wise it's 659mm hatch, and then over the other way it's 962mm. Yeah, so a good space below, but obviously slightly limited by the size of the physical hatch here, but more than big enough probably to get in whatever you might be it a little torpedo outboard for your tender, your fishing kit, your dinghy, inflatable dinghy, and of course your wakeboards, your paddle boards, you name it, could all be under here. Fantastic. So with the hatch cover back down, let's just lift this back off its supports and slide it back out into position onto there, and then this just screws back down into position, and then you've got your steps reset and ready to head on up to the Flybridge. You can see as well under the seats here, so it's not like the lifting lid type storage on some that we've seen on some Jeanneaus. It's merely a sort of open area at the front here. But what of course we do also have under here on the back bench seat there is a bit more storage there, you can see. So plenty of storage for your outdoor bits and pieces. See the lighting as well at the back here, and obviously there's an option as well to have a canopy fitted, which would strap down to the little tie downs here on the corner, so you could in effect enclose all of this area of the cockpit, which is a really nice place to sit in perhaps in the evening or in the slightly less warm weather when that sad day arrives and it's winter again. And there you go, so that's the tables put back. You can see as well those lovely cushion arrangements give you that really nice seating area, which it'll be really much to test out. Oh yes, very nice too. Very nice indeed. Okay, and just on the starboard side here you can see the first one there with a little blue rim, that's your freshwater fill. Just the next one up there, that's your black water pump out if you need to pump out there. You can also see just in the steps there those lovely LED lights, and there's some more down there. Our 895, there were blue lights then down there as well, which look really effective at night. Really nice. And if you want to get an idea of that, then do check out the channel for that one. And just before we head up there, this little hinged access hatch, and there's obviously a gas locker on the starboard side there. There's the gate from the inside, gives you access on the starboard side there, and this is a really good walkway, nice high rail here, up at least 3 to 4 feet. At the side here, sliding door here, which gives you access back into the helm station area. But if we just carry up on the front here, you can see there you've got the 2 windows that look down into the main cabin there, which we'll see once we're inside, but then you've also got that option to add the cushions up here. 2 already on there, there's a 3rd one that fits in the middle there. If I can find it, I'll just overlay a picture of what it looks like with all the sun pad out here. But imagine that, got your drinks holder there, out on the front here, that's a really good size space at the front. Bit weird to see cars down below the boat. And there's a look back and up onto the fly. You can see here that we've got access hatch here at the front. Let's just get those 2 clips opened. There we go, so that's just a shallow sort of storage area at the front there under that hatch. And then you've got the one opening window that goes down into that master cabin just below us at the front as well. Apart from our spot for our anchor, our navigation lights at the starboard and port, and of course our good old Lumar windlass. We'll have a quick look in the anchor locker up at the front there, and yeah, locker there, plenty of space down in there for your chain, your rope, for your anchor, and for perhaps a fender or two as well. Good size, nice and deep locker that. Forward chrome covered cleats there, nicely finished, very nice indeed. And you can see that the port side access along here, still a reasonably high level railing there, but the actual walkway is slightly higher up, so this rail is probably about a couple of foot up, whereas opposed to this side you've got about 3 or 4 foot height over that side. So probably the favoured route will be up the starboard side of the boat, just gives you that little bit more height of railing and a bit more security there. And you can just see on the side there the electric horns on the side of the boat there. And apart from being a very nice sun deck, you'll see that you can also, if I lift up the cushion there, you can see that these bits also lift up as well. So you can get the effect there. Little support pulls out from there. And there you've got a nice raised area there. And a lovely little seating area to watch the world go by. How fab is that? Same on the other side, of course. So that's the front of the boat. Now before we head on inside, let's show you what it's like from up top on the Flybridge. Accessed obviously from the ladder here. Wow. Now there's a good spot up here. You can obviously see you've got the hatch here which drops down over that to give a bit more water protection cover if in that unusual eventuality you're out in the rain. But of course the sun is only going to shine if you're on a 1095 fly. And you can see as well that you've got this liftable or adjustable seat which drops down. Extra cushion on there, cushions on the back, lovely sun pad area there as one option. Seating mode as well, which gives you the option up here with your little table. What an outdoor space as well. I've got to try that out. Put the seat in place there. Oh yes. What a fantastic spot. And it does look as though you're quite a height from the deck down there below. Quite a height indeed. Obviously everything that we've seen, or that we will see down at the helm station, is duplicated up here. Suffice to say we'll do a bit of the detail when we're downstairs, but steering wheel obviously missing from up here, but you can see it is a complete duplicate of what we'll see downstairs. Dual throttle control, your autopilot, your zip wakes, your Garmin VHF repeater set up the top here, start stop for the engines, so a complete duplication of what we've got downstairs. A little bit more at the main helm station down there in terms of switching and switching systems, which you'll see in a moment, but to all intents and purposes a complete duplicate for control on a fantastic spot up the top here, which is a really great space. Look how far down, or how far up we are here. A little bit of storage under the seats up here, but obviously you can see they've got a big drainage spot as well, because you're likely to be exposed to the elements up here, albeit there is an option to actually get a cover that fits over the top here to give you a bit more extra cover on perhaps some of your instrumentation and bits and bobs up here, but may well often be exposed to the elements. But what a fantastic spot. Flybridge, very nice too. And of course, up on the Flybridge as well, it'd be rude not to have some stereo and some music. So an extension of your music system here as well up on the fly deck. Nice little low-level adjustable seating as well. And a really good spot to control your 1095 from. Okay, so 3-piece sliding doors, really nice. And therefore, once they're all the way back there, you can just lock them into place with the bolt there, so they stay in situ when you're underway. But look at the size, really good size opening that. makes everything in almost feel like it's on the outside. That's a fantastic flow of air through with the side door up at the helm station there, which we'll see in a minute. But look at that, what a fantastic space that is. Very nice indeed. Access down to the cabins there. Plexiglass surfaces here which allow a lot of that light down into those spaces below, which we'll see. Very nice too. Okay, so let's have a look and see what some of the detail is in this amazing living space. So we'll work our way around. Let's take the covers off here to show you the galley area. I've got covers that you can just lift off there and stow away. That obviously give you either a very big work surface or of course access to your twin burner. Seen the gas cabinet just outside there on the starboard side. Hot and cold, running water here, little drinks holder hiding there. And here you've got obviously some lighting. Batteries aren't connected up at the moment, so we're not going to get any of the lighting effects, but in effect you get, there's lots of recessed LED lights in these, under the cupboards, up high, down low, really nice lighting effects at night. And you've also got a number of other options for the interior of the 1095. You've certainly got a full carpeting option. They're all made to your specification and to your colour, so hence we're not seeing carpets at the moment, but they are lovely to fit. We had some done by Daniel here at BHG for our 895 and they were really nicely put together, lovely finish on the boat. Have a look at that film of our 895 offshore and you'll get a flavour there of what the carpeting finish was like. The seating here as well, as you can imagine, hides not only other options for accommodation, but also hides lots and lots of storage space. So you'll see that this main table, for example, that has an option here. Round the side here you can see these two little recesses here and then back under there just here, and that takes an aluminium pole. It then takes some a different piece that slots in here when the table out the way, drops in onto that shelf over there, so it fits onto that area there, and this area here then becomes a berth. Hopefully I've managed to get something on the screen for you that just shows you how that all goes together. But more space for you here. Then this bench seat here, underneath this table we've got this little white plastic bit here which just pushes in slightly, just slides in there like that, and then that allows this table to drop down there. And then yes, like many as you know that you'll have seen, you then have got this ability to then lift up this seat. It slides across there and becomes a very nice forward facing seat while you're underway, with your drinks holders, and a very nice spot to be watching the world go by in. And under the table as well, right at the back here on the port side of the boat, just got access to a little hatch there and a bit more storage. Get some of the electrical systems as well tucked away under there, but certainly a little bit of extra storage for you under this table here. On the end of the bench, just behind the curtains there, you've got your mains power there, 230, 240 volt. These obviously, as you can see there, they're currently in the sort of European setup. But obviously these can be changed out for standard UK 3-pin plugs. Just something to talk to your dealer about to get that done, but it's we had it done with the 895, so it's a relatively easy swap over if that's what you fancied. Underneath that seat here you've got one of these nice pull-out drawers there, good space, and of course one may be putting, well, I can't imagine what you put in there, can you? Could it possibly be a bottle or two? It may well be. Then over this side, just beneath that nice galley space, you've got your bits and pieces here for your batteries. You've got your negative, you've got your house battery, and then engines 1 and 2 there. This one here on the left here, that obviously activates the whole of the battery circuits or the battery panel itself. So without this in its correct position, you're not going to get any power into the batteries at all. So it's like a sort of master cut-off, if you like. And here as well, got a further cut-off switch and your anchor isolation there for the windlass at the front of the boat. Cupboarding here, and in this one we've got, look at this, look, no hands, a self-opening bin as you pull out your bin. Gosh, oh my God. And then fitted onto this particular one, got your microwave powered in there, obviously works on shore power only, but of course there is, as with a number of Jeanneaus, there's of course options to have onboard generators, where you could potentially use 240 volt stuff. Again, it's an option and something to talk to your dealer about. More cupboard space under there, together with some of the gas pipe work that's coming through to that twin burner up above there. And then with those soft closed doors, and then of course behind here your little Dometic fridge. Nice little ice maker space, good size. Storage in the door there, door is reversible. So a good size fridge that. Top here, little cutlery drawer there. Fixed cutlery tray supplied, and again soft close on all these doors there. You've seen as well obviously the fitting there ready for a TV to be added to this lounge area, very nice too. And then further forward again, just below the helm seat, you've got yet more storage locker space there. Obviously, as you can see, the curtains go all the way around, and the little buttons up there allow you to fit curtains over the front screen here, so you can get, if you are using the upper area here as perhaps additional berthing, then you've got a bit of privacy as well. And of course, under the floor, which may or may not be covered with carpet, you've got another storage space on gas struts again, so lifts up really easily, and you can see straight away it's quite a good sized storage area that. And for whoever the lucky owner is of this new 1095 Fly, then they've got a bit of homework there, instruction manuals and all the bits and bobs to do with some of the electronics in here. But a good storage space that. And there, if I get down low, you can see here over this side, and go down really low down there, you can see underneath here there's all that strip lighting that I talked about, all the LED strip lights that go all underneath the units here, which give it a really nice lighting effect at night. You've then got the helm, the Heron Seat itself, which is in this position with the bolster up, is obviously one that you can just stand and lean against there, but then of course it drops down there, and that gives you then the ability to, there's a full seat there, got a little bit of adjustment in it down underneath there, so a little bit of movement front, forward and backwards to get your ideal position here for the helm station. This is a sort of leatherette type finish as well. It's a bit like we had in our 895, and it is a really nice sort of soft finish, soft and squashy finish for your seating. Overhead as well, you've also got some additional cupboarding, albeit quite narrow up there, but it's more space, which is always handy. And similarly, some more over the galley area here. These two little opening spaces as well. So a little bit more handy storage, crammed into the slightly larger boat here. You can see you've got the extra speakers as well as the one we saw up on the Flybridge. You've got your extra speakers down here in the sort of lounge area, together with more speakers out the back, which obviously are controlled by your Fusion RA70 radio that's at the front here on the helm station. So just to the right of the helm seat, you've got your 2 fuel cut-offs there, and then if we swing around to the helm station, you'll see that if you saw our film from BHG on the 795 Sport, you'll see a lot. It's almost a complete replica of that in terms of the Garmin screen, the CL5 Fusion radio. You've got your autopilot, but of course a couple of extra features. We've got the twin 300s on this, so that means you've got, for example, the ability to just have top right there, you've got that single lever button. Now what that means is you can press your single lever button, you can drop this one out the way, and it gives you control of both engines on just the single lever if you needed that. You've also got the ability there, you can see at the top left there, the control which says station. That is when you wanted to, for example, go up onto the Flybridge, then the controls up there, you would touch station, which would give you control from the station upstairs on the Flybridge itself. And similarly, when you came back down here, touch the button, it gives you control again down on the helm station at the interior of the boat here. You've got your Sleipner bow thruster, you've got your zip weights again, those 450Ss that we saw on the back. Windscreen wipers, washers, your anchor, some of your power switches and lighting for the boat. Twin bilges, mid and rear. You've got your freshwater pump there, interior lighting, your horn. So all very similar, as you'll see from some of those other films we've done of walkthroughs, very similar sort of switching panel setup. And of course, your Plastimo compass there at the front for your headings. If you wanted to know a little bit more, because these aren't powered at the moment, so if you wanted to see a bit more of the capability of this electronic equipment, then do check out the 795 Sport film from here at BHG Marine, where we had access to some of the functionality of it, which was quite useful, and you'll get an idea of what it's capable of there. Some really good kit this is. There is, of course, an option, because some of you will have noticed the lack of a joystick. Well, of course, yes, that is an option on this. For, of course, extra money, you can add the joystick to it, which, of course, makes berthing a boat of this size really simple. That simple joystick motion, which allows you to move the boat sideways, port, starboard, forwards, backwards. Absolutely tremendous manoeuvrability of it. Yes, it's more money, but something where you've got a boat of this size, you might consider adding to the functionality that already exists in the helm station here. And of course, hiding up there, saw the box in the little storage area underneath, didn't we? There's your Garmin, which will be a 215 Garmin there, VHF radio. Okay, let's go down and have a look at the master cabin, which takes us through to having another nap again, are we?
Oh yes.
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 Well, another day, another bed test, eh?
You know which side to sort of pose. I'll do this side. I'll do this side. I'll do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 foot what?
Yeah.
5'8".
Oh gosh, bring it back. Bring it back. Oh, it does extend.
Yes. Yeah.
It does extend.
Yes, it's got that midsection again.
To be fair, there's plenty of room in here.
Yeah, 5'8", and as you've just seen, this midsection here, the bed actually does pull out. There's a midsection cushion that fits in there, so you can increase the length of the bed. And we'll just see if we can get an idea of the length of that from the measure. Okay, so if we set it up for the end of the bed there, and just up to the red laser point there, measure that. So that's 1.86. and that's without the pull-out section. So let's you just literally grab it and pull back, and you can see now that space has opened out. There's another piece of cushion that infills there, and now let's do the same measurement from the back here, at the end of the bed, laser at the end there. So that's put it out to 2022, 2 meters and 22 millimeters, which has increased the length. So good little infill, that gives you that little bit of extra space if you need it. Obviously to to each side of the bed. You've got the little steps up here, and then you've got a little bit of cupboarding space here. Some shelf built in there, soft close as well on those doors. You've got a sliding door itself to the cabin space, which of course just on the side there is lockable. And these runners. Some steps up the side here as well. Mirror at the back there. And there's that opening window that we saw from the outside, but you can see with that plexiglass and those side windows that I talked about as well. A bit weird again, seeing a car outside a boat window. Bit weird that. And roadworks. But there you can see those side windows, privacy glass, so as you remember from the outside you can hardly see through them, but a really nice view out when you're down in the master cabin here. And then these as well, you can just probably see the white stitching there, so these are actually a sort of leatherette style finish, which again is really nice. And of course down the back here you've got you can just see it there. So all this is all those strip LED lights that I talked about earlier. So with the main light switches there, you've got some reading light switches up there, but you can imagine with just the LED hidden lights going around here, it's a really nice finish. Curtains across if you want it, and then just above here you've obviously got some quite small but nonetheless quite useful little cupboard spaces, and obviously a similar 3 over that side as well. So it is a nice it's a nice master cabin space in the 1095 here. These roof panels as well, they're also that sort of leatherette style finish, so a little bit of a feel of luxury there. And of course the blinds that be it fly screen or be it full blind, that covers those plexiglass windows up above you. So a nice space, the master cabin, and it's a shame it's not in sort of full fit, and we can show you what it likes lit up, but if I can find some pictures I'll overlay them so you can see the effect that you get when it's all kitted out. So just out of the main cabin there, you've got the heads area, you've got your macerating toilet, Jabsco toilet. You've got your pump there, you've got your gauge there to tell you whether your black water's full or not. Nice sort of matte finish on the sink here, hot and cold water. And you've got a little bit of storage under there, got the toilet roll holder that's supplied, that's still got its wrapping on. And of course, apart from storage, you've got some of your water piping, electrical systems and goodness knows what, routed through all these spaces around the boat. That opening window that we saw when we were on the outside, but then of course, unlike the 7.9 Sport that we looked at BHG here, you've now got a separate shower cubicle, so that's the benefit, shall we say, of getting a slightly larger boat. You start to be able to get a full standing room on what, 5'11", so you can just see up to the ceiling. It gives you about, so I guess about 6'2", 6'3", and you could probably just stand anything more, and you might just have to duck a little bit. Folding screen that comes across here, or a little folding door, I should say, bifold style door, and obviously drainage out there. The shower fixture itself obviously starts its life tucked away there, but it lifts up, it comes up to here, it slots in there like that when you want to use it. You've obviously also got a seat here which drops down if the space was such that you would prefer a sitting shower, and obviously you'll have just caught sight of here the pump there that controls some of the water systems in here, hot and cold of course, and that just, when you're finished, can just stow away. There we go, that can just stow away there. A little bit of a privacy cover on the window there. But yeah, so the advantage of a little bit more boat is a little bit more boat space. And supply a little towel rail up the top there, and a little mirror. Fantastic. So over the starboard side of the boat, you've now got your 2 additional cabin spaces. So let's see if we can get 1 or 2 bits out of here and give you an idea of what this one looks like. Incidentally, those 2 bits that I've just taken out of that starboard cabin, radar stand for the top of the boat there, but obviously for transport they're not going to put it up on top of the fly. But this one, if you were lucky enough to buy it and fancied it, then of course it is going to be equipped with the Garmin radar system as well. So let's have a little look into this cabin space. So you can see as well back here we've got an additional cupboard space down there, and then up above that cupboard you've got a second fridge space, another Dometic fridge, in addition to that one we've already seen up in the upper saloon area. So this is a similar sort of product. A little bit of a freezer compartment there, but just a bit of extra fridge space, which they've tucked away down in this starboard cabin. And so if I just drop the camera down a bit there, you can see back. You can see obviously we've got limited headroom here. Let's just grab the measure and let you know what that is. So let's just see what that headroom is, because as you can see it's quite low. So with the cushions in, we're looking at 454 millimeters, so just slightly less than half a metre headspace under there. So perhaps for the younger people, or those more agile, to get in under here to use it as a berth here. And in terms of its length, let's just give you an idea of the front to back. So that is 1.98. So it actually, you know, it's going to cater for somebody who's pretty tall, but a little bit of lacking of the headroom there. And then width wise, we've got around about a metre, just under a metre, 981 mil. We've got power in here as well. Those are those French sockets that we talked about earlier that can be converted. And then if I just get some light in here, we'll go and have a look at the back here at some of those cupboard spaces at the back there, which is where some of the magic systems of the boat and its functionality are hidden away. It's nice with its sort of long plexiglass window there, opening hatch as well. It's got some reading lights in there, but then if we just ferret our way to the back here and open this space, you can then see what's hiding away in here. There we go. So you've got your hot water tank there. That's where your hot water systems run, but really nicely set out there. Lovely wiring set up and everything fitted to the boat. Water pump down there as well. Some of the other battery charging systems in here. As and when we get a chance to do it, or it may even be up on the channel by the time you're looking at this, but we've also got a 1095 Legend on the channel as well, and you can compare the two because they've added some additional stuff to their boat. They've got diesel heating in there, but diesel hot water as well, so that they get hot water on the move. So you could just be able to compare the two there of some of the extras that, or the options should I say, that people have chosen to have added to their base 1095, if you like. So that's the hatch fitted again, and in fact while I'm stretched out on this starboard cabin here, you can see my feet aren't quite at the end there because I'm a mere 5'11", so 5'11", my head was definitely where you would be if you were using this as a bed. So yeah, probably for the smaller people I think you'd struggle to fit 2 adults in here comfortably. Certainly 1 adult would be fine, but a couple of kids perhaps. So that's the starboard cabin, and in fact just before we go to the portside cabin, I'll just show you, because I didn't show you this centre section of the bed. It's on gas struts, so it lifts up, and there you see a lot more storage. You've additionally got this little door access as well, so you don't obviously have to lift the whole bed up if you've got stuff near the front. There's that there's that aluminium pole that you remember I talked about fitted up the top there to make that berth up in the saloon area. And of course, there we go. There's the 1223 GPS map product that I mentioned that we saw working on the 795 Sport film that we've done from BHG here as well. So you can just have a check that film out if you want to see a little bit more functionality of the 1223. There's our good old look. It's here. It's ready. The Jeanneau bag. We don't need to open it, do we? We know what's in there. We know. Toolbox, loads of manuals, you name it. We know. So let's drop this down again. And the other bit I didn't show you while we were in here was this little storage. It's a sort of cross between storage and there's your washer bottle, windscreen washer bottle, but there is a little bit more. Just angle it down there, you can see a little bit more storage there in that section. Okay, so that's got all the cushions moved out from the portside berth. So let's take you in there and show you the other portside cabin. You can see this first bit here as you come in. You've got that plexiglass letting the light in there, and this is indeed, and I'm as you remember 5'11", and there's about two or three inches, perhaps a tiny bit more, on this particular section where you first walk in. There's a little cupboard there as well, a little shelf built in there as well, and then under here as well, these are velcroed on with these 4 velcro points there, a common fixture you'll find if you buy one of these Jeanneaus. And then you've got a little shallow storage area under there for a few more knickknacks that you might have. There's those French plug socket again, swappable to UK or European plug socket I should say, perhaps swappable to UK type. And then you'll see, of course, as you come in, just where the light switch is in fact situated, and again you've got that sort of LED recessed lighting and all that sort of thing in here, but then as you come in you'll see the headroom starts to drop then, obviously I guess a bit like our starboard cabin there, which has got all the radar stuff back in it, but you would probably be looking for the head end to be up this end, rather than perhaps trying to struggle your way to the back there. And similarly with this one, I'd imagine that it would be easier to obviously that to be the foot end at the far end and head end to be here. So let's grab the measure and just give you an idea of what the size this one is when compared to that smaller one over on the starboard side. This is certainly, as you can see already, this is a much bigger berth than that one on the starboard side. So if we line it up, it measures from the back of the device. So with it there, and you can see with the point on the wall at the back there, we've got 1.946. So that's a pretty good size front to back on these on the available space. And then if we just check the side to side measurement for you. So that's set there, back to the wall, laser over there. So we'll check that, and that is 1.338. Well, I guess a 4 foot 6 double bed is what, 120, 135. So yeah, you're looking, it's near as damn it a standard 4'6" double bed space in here. There's a little bit of storage there that you've probably seen already, a little bit of a recess there, no door or anything on it, just a little cubby hideaway, but underneath there are 1 or 2 bits which I'll show you. And in fact, if I move this one out the way and lift this one, then I can tell you a couple of things altogether about the water system. So water systems wise, this boat has got 2 freshwater tanks and 1 black. What we're looking at there is the black water tank, and just to the right, under this void here, which we'll probably be able to see in a minute, that's where the 160 litre freshwater tank is. This one is 100 litre black water. But then under this bit that we were unable to open because it's actually screwed down that, but under there is a second tank, which is a 100 litre freshwater tank. So and the reason why they have a little bit more is because the toilet in this boat is actually a freshwater flushing toilet, so obviously that's going to use more. So rather than being the Jabsco pump style toilets that you'll remember that we've seen on a number of other Merry Fishers, you'll see this one has obviously got a feed freshwater flush, but then it when you flush it, it sends it off into the because it's a macerating toilet, so it sends it off into that black water tank, which is under there, and you get on the side there, you get your black water tank condition, i.e. empty to full, and the different methods of expelling your black water as well, i.e. to pump it through from the flush, and or for the process that expels it from the boat. Two ways, as you know, you've seen the filler cap on the starboard side there, that's black water. If you're going to if you've got suck out facilities, clearance facilities at your marina or wherever you've moored up, but if your local conditions permit, then obviously if you're out to sea, then the alternative way is the through hull seacock, which allows you to release the black water tank into the ocean. So that's the sort of configuration, and it means therefore that obviously it's an electric flush, so that's a lot easier than your pump up style in effect, but it means that you've got that extra tank under where I'm stood at the moment, which helps to add, both the freshwater tanks are connected, so you've got that one fill point, and if I show you that as well, because I don't think we touched that on the detail of the boat, but they've also made, rather than have to sort of stick a hose in there and hold the end of a hose for hours, they've also got this point here, which on the back of the boat there, just underneath the starboard fuel tank, and that is, you can actually connect a hose straight up to that. Obviously you'd want perhaps a food grade hose, or one that you know the background of, if you're going to be filling your freshwater tanks straight from a water supply at the marina, say on the pontoons. Certainly where we were latterly in West Wales, we used to bring our own hose pipes. The marina encouraged that, so that you know that it's not being dipped in unpleasant water or whatever, if you're going to use it to fill up your freshwater tank. So that's the way you can fill, and that connects, that hose style fitting basically connects obviously to both of the tanks that are hiding under us here. So that's the water setup, and if we look under these little spaces here, take these two off, you can then also see a bit more. So there's obviously the black water tank, that's the macerator pump on the top there, black water tank, but then down here as well you've got some other bits and bobs. You see just down there, that circular, black circular thing, that's your through hull transducer that partners with the Garmin Navionics up on the helm there, and then you've got your pumps as well for your shower, clear out, and of course for your water as well. So, and right down at the bottom there, in fact you can see it best through this one, right down there, the yellow end, that's your bilge pump control from the helm station there. That's not the manual one. You remember there's also a manual backup on here as well, but that's the one of the two automatic bilges that you can control from the helm station. And there, of course, that's your release valve for the black water tank, if you were going to use the electrical pumping system through the macerator and out into the ocean, as long as your local regulations permit that. So that's the sort of ins and outs, shall we say, of the three different water supplies, or the three different water tanks I should say, and how they sort of help you to operate the boat. Right, so let's get our black water cover back on. So with the with this side lifted off, we've just then got a little hatch which basically is just another sort of underfloor storage area. You can see some water, hot water, cold water piping going through there as well, but that the remainder is a little opportunity for a bit more storage. And then finally we'll do some cushion moving down the end there. And there we go, there's the cushions completely out of here. So if we just open up this hatch, so that is simply a storage void there. Nothing else in there at all, so that's yet more storage space. And then finally, if we hold this one up, there we go. So there's the bigger freshwater tank, 160 litre, that one, supplying some of the other systems as I've explained, and linked to that smaller 100 litre tank, which is more towards the centre of the boat. Right, so while I'm down here, let's just give you an idea of what the headroom is like in here. So there, that's the first bit here where where it drops down from that standing position. So if we just catch that, that is 906 millimeters, so it drops from full standing down to 906 mil, and then right at the back here, you can see it just steps down again there. So let's just see what that one is. And that one, and that drops down to 657. So 906 down to finally down to 657 right at the end here. In terms of headroom, but remember, of course, that those two measurements are without that thickness of cushion that's normally in here, which is about 75 mil ish. So obviously, take away about 75 mil from both of those measurements to get the actual headroom. And you can see as well, just before we finish in here, curtain here, which once pulled back, quite a nice long window there, which lets a nice bit of light in to this portside cabin, and obviously an opening window there. So with that plexiglass there, the plexiglass above us, even with that and with the door shut, you still get a nice amount of light in here. But remember, obviously there's a carpeting option, of course, for all of these floor surfaces that you see throughout the boat. Which you can get a flavour of if you look at our films on the 895 offshore, of which there will be a couple on the channel eventually, certainly one there now. But all of this area then has a carpeting option, which makes it really lovely inside. We've also got a film, or we'll have a film on the channel with an 895 that actually has used flexi-teak in the toilet area. That also looked very good. Use white grout in that instead of the dark grout that's used out on the deck. So use flexi-teak with the white grout, very effective as well, looked really nice. So hopefully I'll have found one or two pics which will show some of the cabins as well, made to look a little bit better with some furnishings in them and bits like that. So hopefully I've got them able to overlay those up on the screen for you to give an idea of perhaps what it might look like. But suffice to say, there are a stack of options that you can discuss with your dealer. A stack of options in terms of what you can add, what you can change, configuration of the boat, together with obviously options to have flexi-teak all the way through the cockpit area, on the swim platforms, all the way up the sides of the boat. You can have flexi-teak going around the front. And if we've got the film on the channel, have a look at a film on the 895 offshore, which was a 2022 boat, and that as a choice of the owner before he took possession of it as a new boat, he had all these areas flexi-teaked right along the front here had the anchor locker flexi teaked, and it was a really nice finish, and one to certainly have a look at that film, and you'll start to get the effect of what it does and the contrast it gives you to this white GRP that we're obviously looking at now. Yeah, obviously not fully complete upstairs, but you can get, or on the Flybridge I should say, but you can also get, hopefully you've got a flavour of what it would be like, particularly sat up there, which would be absolutely fantastic, of course. But if you were to take the radar mast would obviously be, or the radar pole would obviously be at the back there, with your Garmin radar mounted on it, and probably some navigation lights and bits and bobs as well, so even more height to be gained with that. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an insight into this fabulous 1095 Fly. Have a chat with your dealer if you're considering buying one of these. This one, don't forget, this one is still available, and I don't think I've found a dealer yet selling Jeanneau that says they've actually got one available, so I suspect this won't be available for long, but certainly you can be in touch with BHG Marine here in Lymington, down on the south coast in the UK, who have currently got this one for sale, and we're now in just coming towards the end of August 2022 when this one is available. Very nice indeed. Whoa, what do you think of that?
Fantastic, isn't it?
Wasn't it,
yeah.
eh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna buy me one?
Well, let me just check my wallet and see what I've got in
that.
there.
Yes.
Yes, small matter of that. But if you've enjoyed the film, then of course please do give us a like on the film. We love also to get your comments, don't we?
We do.
We do indeed, yeah, and we certainly try and answer them all, and love hearing from you about your experiences either with this boat, the 1095, we'd love to hear that, or of course with any other of the Jeanneau Power power boats that we've reviewed. So do drop those comments down below. Okay, so we hope you enjoyed that look at the 1095. It is still for sale in August 22, but my wallet might not extend to it, but yours might.
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely. Thanks again for watching, guys, as always, and we look forward to seeing you on the next film. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.